When you live by yourself, being broke will show you a side of yourself you have never seen. It's scary, it's frightening what you eat in those times. Nothing is cute, nothing is sweet, nothing is funny. Check 1 2 1 2. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to the second episode of Stuck in These 20-somethings. This feels great. It feels like a podcast. It feels cute. So obviously, as you guys can see, the background has changed. Don't hold me too much for that. I actually wasn't home in the first video and I just wanted the background to give the vibe that I was trying to give, but this was the ideal background that I wanted in the beginning. As you can see by the title is things no one told me about living on my own, / moving out. I have a couple of points that I feel like I'm burning to speak about because why didn't y'all tell me? Why was this never the vibe? Living by yourself, and I think moving out of home is definitely a luxury that I think that everybody should experience at least once in their lives, or at some point in their lives, because it's like a very important thing to go through. It teaches you a lot, but obviously if it's economically, if it makes sense financially to move out. If it doesn't make sense financially to move out, please don't move out of your parents' home. If they love you enough to let you chill in their house until you're 20 whatever, do what you gotta do until you're ready to leave, for real. But I'm talking from a more going to res point of view. However, the res that I lived in was kind of like an apartment building, so it wasn't giving too much res vibes. So I kind of did have the best of both worlds, as in I didn't really have res kind of vibes, but I did have apartment vibes with other students. So I think I can speak on this topic a little bit. And I've definitely lived away from home for more than a year, I think a year and a half. Maybe this will be part 1 and we'll have a part 2 next year to just refresh, because so far this is what I've learned. When it comes to moving out, the place that you pick, especially the surrounding area, is actually very important, especially if you're a first year or you're a student, or even if you're a young adult going into your adult life and you want a place to stay and you're looking on Property 24 and this place looks so cute, looks so aesthetically pleasing. Even it's 4.5, you don't know why it's 4.5, but when you get there you see why it's 4.5. Where is this located? Where is this place located? Do you know where you are? Before you get into the place, going to the actual apartment building and seeing where it is, how far it is from Pick and Pay, how far, it's important. Because once you get there and the lease is signed, whether Pick and Pay is 10 kilometers away, it's going to be 10 kilometers away for a full year. If you live in a very scary area where there's a lot of crime and all of that and you didn't know until you got there, there's a reason why I'm saying this. And the reason is, before I moved to Cape Town for first year, obviously I knew Cape Town, but I knew the vacation spots Camps Bay, we all know Clifton, we all know V&A, we all know those places. But anybody know Claremont and Obbs and Mowbray and those student areas that are in the suburbs? I didn't know those places. So when I was picking and choosing where I wanted to stay, I was just ooh, Observatory sounds cute. Ooh, this place sounds cute. It sounds cute. I didn't do any background checks. A lot of my friends and I, we had a culture shock. We had a shock when we got to Cape Town. Are we also in the same Cape Town? What's happening? This girl, I get it. It's exciting to move to a new city and everything is just so wow and big and oh my gosh. But it's wow and big and oh my gosh when you're on the main road, until you get into the area where you live, then you're where are we? Oh yeah, that's something I didn't check when I went to Cape Town. At least I chose Observatory, which is not a bad area. It's a very student friendly area. It's not too hectic. Friends that used to stay in Mowbray used to complain all the time that, friend, we didn't know what we're getting ourselves into. How could you? You didn't go check. Neither did I. Convenience for your safety as a student. You are just moving out of your house. You don't want to move to a place that is scarier than where you came from, and then matata. Hey, another thing, in that time that you're moving, obviously I was very excited about moving. I was very excited about creating my own space and creating how the space is going to look and how intentional each part of my space is going to be. I think that's a very important part of moving out. I think when you get into your apartment and wherever you're going to stay, your res, it doesn't matter if you're staying in the back room of someone else's house, because you're not at home. I think it's very important to make your space as comfortable as possible so that you can kind of feel a home away from home. Even if you bring your teddy away from home and you just put it on your bed, or I don't know, bring personal things into it also. Or if you want to completely start afresh, maybe bringing in things into the space that just make it feel like, you know, this is mine. I love apartment shopping. It's really fun. It's really like, it just feels like a new era again. You know, I love new eras. I think that's important because you're gonna be staying in that space for a long time, and even if it's not a full year, it's more than a week, and more than a week is long enough for you to want to settle where you are. It will also motivate you every day to wake up into a beautiful little home that you created for yourself. The work area is cute, this area is cute, like, you know what I mean? So yeah, want to adjust with immediate effect is that cooking for one person is ridiculous. It doesn't make sense to put one piece of chicken in the pan, like, but then meal planning is also so like hard because I suck at meal planning. I tried to do the whole thing of cooking for like over 3 days, and then you package everything. Like, I will eat all of those things on the same day. Like, I don't know why nobody told me that moving out is the best thing you can do for your relationship with your parents. Like, why didn't we talk about this? Like, I don't know, it just helps your relationship with your parents a lot because maybe distance makes the heart grow fonder. Me and my mom, I think, became the closest when I was in university. I think that usually happens when girls like grow older. Their moms just become their besties. I don't know, like, that's my slime. Like, you know, I don't know, but why didn't anyone tell me that that just makes like your relationship with your parents so much better? I think it's because they miss you a lot or something. But yeah, my parents just became a lot more understanding, a lot more calm when it came to certain things that I did. Like, if I did them, I did them. It's like, I'm old now, so what you gonna do? With that being said, the next point that I'm going to make is people you meet when you move into a new place, like the people you meet in the beginning, are less likely to be your friends for like a long time after that, and that's completely okay. Like, when you move into a new space, you really do evolve with the whole process. So the people you meet in the beginning are probably not going to be your friends. Just because someone is nice to you doesn't mean they need to be your bestie for life. Like, it's really okay. It was probably for a season, and that season is over, and that was your move-in season. As you get more comfortable in the city that you're in, or the area that you're in, or wherever you are, I feel like you attract people that are also kind of in the same vibe as you. I mean, obviously, if you're in certain spaces, you will attract people of those kind of spaces. So it just depends how you navigate like that whole experience. But you shouldn't feel so heartbroken if you're not friends with the exact same people that you met, like the first people you met when you got into res, or when you got into your facility, or wherever you're staying. Like, it's most of the time it's just like you're kind of in survival. Like, you don't really know what's going on. Like, you're so confused. Here's this really nice person with a really nice smile, and they just make you feel comfortable and at home. But before you know it, you find out that they're actually really scary, and that's okay. Like, it's okay. You can just move on. Another thing that I wanted to mention, the first few weeks of living by yourself are actually quite weird. Like, everything is just like, am I really gone from home? Like, somebody says psych. Like, it gets really lonely really fast. The first night, for example, the first night is very weird because you're trying to process like this new space and adapting to how this bed feels and the sheets feel, and especially if you're not fully moved in yet, because obviously moving in is a whole process. It will feel a bit out of place, you know, for a while, but you can do whatever makes you feel like you're welcoming yourself into the space. For example, I love burning incense when I move into a new space. It just makes me feel like I'm making it my own, and like I'm just starting a clean slate. Like, whoever was in here before, love and light to you. It's my turn to be in here, and I'm just making this space mine. You know what I mean? So being compassionate with yourself in those moments is very important, because it does get hard, and sometimes you might not want to admit that it's hard, because just like, I have to be so excited about this because I'm living by myself. Why am I mad? I've been trying to get out of home. Now that I'm not at home, why am I sad? You know what I mean? So it's completely normal. It's just the way you do certain things when you live by yourself really, it really helps. Like, no one also told me that moving in is something you can't do by yourself. You might just want to like really get out of home and just like go and just conquer everything, but also plan wisely, because yeah, you don't want that kind of start. I was living in a already furnished place. It wasn't too hectic, but if you're moving into an empty apartment, please don't get them bags by yourself, girl. Moving day is very stressful. What to buy, there's groceries, there's linen, there's all these things that you couldn't get in the plane. A very tedious job, so doing it right, usually it helps a lot. It helps the process be smoother. Which brings me to my next point, that just because you had a rocky start moving in doesn't set the tone for the rest of the year. Like sometimes I do wonder, like, why is nothing working? Like, why is nothing happening? Like that doesn't mean that's going to be the tone for the rest of the year. So really, like, when you move into a different space, you just have to be very, very, very compassionate with yourself. I think I preach this so much on my YouTube. Like, we have so much time to be compassionate for everybody else in the world but yourself. You are your own worst enemy, but every day you're telling Mang to rock on and to keep pushing and to not be too hard on herself. What about you? Please be compassionate with yourselves, guys. Like, it will save you a lot of trauma and mental health issues. I promise. I think dating comes in every topic. I wanted to address dating as a topic on its own on the segment. However, I feel like when you move into a place, right, nobody told me that a man should never see you for the first time in your own place. I feel like, personally, you can trust them with nothing else, but you can trust a man to have the audacity. So never let a man see you in your apartment first, because that's the only place he'll see you, shawty. Like, if it's only for one day or if it's over a few months, every like setting, you see that it will always be in your place, because there's been no build up to getting to know your place. He already knows where you live. He's gonna make it like, oh, am I coming home? Nobody told me what a fat and sit was properly. Like, sat down and explained to me, Horbona, fat and sit is this. But I saw topics about fat and sit on Twitter, and like mostly Twitter actually. I'd see a lot of comments about that and about like how people love fat and sit, Until I got to uni, and I really got to understand what fat and sit is. Fat and sit is like, oh, fata motu, o motu. You sit down, Leone, for weeks at a time at your probably your apartment, because most of the time it's not that people that laugh at and sit are going to waste your time, but people that love to waste your time, that category of people, they are the first ones to introduce. They don't say let's do fat and sit, but I'm going to stay home for the weekend. When did we decide that? Boundaries. Having your own place makes you have to have a lot of boundaries, like boundaries that you're not used to having, boundaries that you're not used to exercising. So when a person comes and tells you that they're going to stay over at your place for a weekend, meanwhile you had plans with the girls tomorrow, they plans with the girls aside, it's your space, you just wanted to be alone, but before you know it, you guys are chilling and sitting la fata and sita for the next 2 weeks because la ratana, and then the relationship ends, the talking stage ends. So what was that about? The groceries are you know what are we eating today? I can't believe nobody told me to avoid fat and sit at all costs. I never had that conversation. Like, I never asked also. So yeah, I quickly realized that a fat and sit is basically, for anyone that doesn't know, basically being with your partner for an extended period of time, probably usually more than one day, and it's kind of like a vacay, but you're at home. Like, you guys just spending time together in her apartment or your apartment, and you're just enjoying each other's company. But it's nice until it's like, bro, but we've been doing this for like 3 weeks. We're just a talking stage, so what's happening? I didn't know, okay. And the thing is, once they see your boundaries can go down a bit, like you can lack a bit of discipline, oh, they got you, girl. It brings me to my next point. No one told me that when you move out and you lack discipline, it really makes everything about that experience very difficult, because it's very hard for you to follow through on your goals, follow through on your activities, be productive, like, because you're in your own space by yourself. Nobody's going to tell you to work. Nobody's going to tell you to get up. You can actually sleep for 3 days straight, and probably no one will notice. It's sad, but it's true. So you can probably sleep the entire day. No one's going to tell you anything. You just have to have the discipline to be like, okay, I want to get up, I want to be productive, I want to do that. Same thing with like lacking discipline with the whole fat and sit thing, or lacking discipline or boundaries with other people. People will come into your space, and you'll never know when it's the right time to say, can you please, like, guys, can you please actually go? You know how hard it is to actually tell a visitor to please go home? Have you ever been in the situation where somebody came over and they're staying for a bit too long? Like, I understand we were chilling and everything was good, but now it's like 11 p.m, my boy. Like, and also it's hard to also say to this person, can you please leave? You must yawn. Oh, I'm so tired. Yawn. You must do all these theatrics instead of just saying to the person, "Can you please go now?" I think it's like and wrap it up now. But that's lacking boundaries. It's just like you have to become a more strong-willed person because you have a little space to protect. You have to be okay with making people upset sometimes because you have a space to protect. It's yours. So own it. Yeah, lacking discipline makes things hard because people can see that and they like to take advantage of people that lack discipline when they stay by themselves. Also, with even friends that just don't know when to leave. Before you know it, your house is a trap house. Every day they go to Olrato spot. Every day they go to your spot. There's a lot happening. Now, you don't even want those vibes in your apartment, but lacking boundaries. People can get comfortable in your space very fast. So it's good to have those boundaries. Speaking on that, when you have these boundaries and when you have these rules, and I think when you have to establish yourself living by yourself and going through all those things that I've been speaking about, having to grow up so much, I feel like as much as it's very good for you, yes, I feel like it does establish you as a person. However, when you go home now, I think from living away from home and when you come back to visit home, you're kind of like a different person because you now have your own rules, the way you do things, and you're kind of a little bit of an adult now, and your mom is also an adult, and now you have two adults in the house clashing. I'm going out at 10, come back at 10. The party starts at 10. Your curfew is 9:30. It's very confusing because when you're living by yourself, you're used to going out and coming back whenever you want. When you come home, this is your mama's house. Where are you going? And you just have to respect those rules. It's frustrating, but you have to respect those rules. So you have to like learn how to be a kid when you're at home and not try to clash a lot because no one told me that that's what happens. Like I think when I would come back and visit home, I would just be very confused that like, yo, Ghana, this is how I live at home, hey? Like I can't be acting like this because when I'm staying by myself, I just do whatever I want whenever I want to do it. Like if I don't want to go out today, I don't want to go out today. If I want to go out today, I'm going to go out today. Like it's just as simple as that. But here it's like permission. So I think one thing people didn't tell me to do but I discovered on my own is you should train your parents. Guys, it's free advice. Train your parents. Tell them where you're going. Don't ask them. Once you've moved out, you are your own person. Tell them, Mama, I'm going to 6, Kitobwaka, 9, 10. I'll try to be early. You see? Better that way. Don't give them the choice. Tell them what's going on. They can't say no. What's still happen? They say no. This point is also something that has been burning in me to talk about. When you live by yourself, being broke will show you a side of yourself you have never seen, a side of yourself you don't recognize. It's scary what happens in broke times. It's frightening what you eat in those times. Being a broke uni student, like it can ruin you. It's not cute. Like you really understand the impact of being broke because first of all, nobody told me that when you get to uni, like money just evaporates the moment you step out of your house. What's that about? Why didn't we talk about that? So when you are broke as a student, nothing is cute, nothing is sweet, nothing is funny. When you have to eat rice and tomato sauce, nothing is cute. That's one thing that makes cooking by yourself better because when you're broke and you don't really have great meal choices and you have a lack of resources and a lack of options, you can just cook that rubbish and eat that rubbish by yourself and just call it a night. Go sleep, knowing how you ate that rubbish, but you are hungry and now you are full and that's all you want to focus on. It's the end of the month, wait, there's no money, wait, you are trying. But it's fine. I think that's the time where you'll probably have the most low vibrational meals, do the most low vibrational activities. To take Ubers every day it was you. Let's go. Now all of a sudden you're saying, can I walk over to your place? I don't want that for my girlies. It's not a cute place to be in, but I'd like that as students we understand that we will have times of being broke. Guys, we are students. It's like, it's life. It's okay. It happens. So most times people are very understanding. There are obviously those students that are very out of touch with reality, and living by yourself really exposes a lot of like the economic statuses of a lot of people and how out of touch people are with reality based off just how they live. It shows you a lot about people who are savvy, people who actually don't understand the concept of saving money, using money wisely. You know, it just exposes a lot and exposes a lot of people's backgrounds as well. So you have a lot of culture shocks when you are living by yourself. But definitely, I think the biggest shock was what I had to go through when I was broke, guys. It's not cute. Ukilaraga half loaf. Have you ever been there? Who be my love? Like, groceries just keep getting expensive and we just have to keep dealing with it. Like, what's that about? It's just, yeah, I think when you live by yourself, you become so hyper aware actually of what it means to actually sustain yourself. I think I had a lot more appreciation for money and for how my parents use money and how my parents built their life for themselves once I stayed by myself, because I realized things are actually so expensive. A point that I wanted to bring up about living by yourself is that no one tells you like how freedom is your biggest blessing and your biggest curse at the same time. Because again, lacking discipline, like I said earlier, lacking discipline really, it will just throw you off, because before you know it, you're out every weekend and you don't even actually enjoy it. Like, I wish somebody had told me that I actually wouldn't enjoy going out like day after day after day after day after day. Like, it's fun. It was, for my first year, it was fun to go out maybe like weekends in a row and things like that, but all the time, I really believe in a hot girl era. I just wish someone had taught me how to regulate it, because I had never gone out before first year, like properly gone out. I thought I'd gone out before, but I actually hadn't had the real experience of going out and being a hot girl and like just living life. I wish someone had told me how to regulate that, how to make that, how to make it a more fun experience for myself and not burn out so quickly, because I did not survive in them streets. Like, I'd always like take long breaks from going out and then go out a lot. Like, it was just like, I don't know, I just felt like maybe this isn't the space for me. I do like it, but not all the time. You never really completely have freedom, because you always have responsibilities. Like, you always are kind of chained to something, chained to some kind of deadline or some kind of goal that you want to accomplish. So you can't really be all over the place all the time, like, and not learn from those kinds of mistakes. So I wish somebody had told me that, like, yes, you have freedom, but use it seriously wisely. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and you guys could relate to some things that I have spoken about. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. You tell me some things that you guys would have liked to know before moving out on your own. Leave them in the comments down below. Yeah, if you want a part 2, obviously let me know as well. But for now, these are the things that I wish someone had please sat down and told me before I moved out. However, I think that it's such a beautiful experience. Thank you guys so much for the response on the last video. I'm so glad you guys actually liked this segment, because I was so excited to start it. So make sure you're here, make sure you subscribe, make sure you like, make sure you know. I will see you guys in the next video. Have a blessed weekend. Bye.